Hello, I interviewed Daniel Carlino, and he is a city council member in Missoula. We first talked about why he got into politics, and then we talked about different homeless problems in Missoula and how the city plans to address them.
So why did you get into politics?
I mostly got into politics just because I was an environmental studies major at the University of Montana here, and I'm just a nature lover. Like, love to hike and bike and get outside and like enjoy everything that's awesome about Western Montana. And just like trying to like during my time as an environmental studies major, quickly like realize that the climate crisis is like the overarching issue with environmental problems and causes a many chain reactions of human problems too. So I just thought, like, how can we get involved to like work to stop the climate crisis? So I joined like a climate club at the university, and one of the things that we were doing at first was we would go talk to our city council to try and get them to pass that 100% clean electricity resolution that Bozeman also passed. And then also we would go talk to the Public Service Commission multiple times in Helena, because they regulate the utilities like Northwestern Energy. So we figured that if we can get the Public Service Commission to do something to to get Northwestern Energy to get us to renewable energy faster, that would be a good way. So we like spent a lot of time like advocating to them. And then I'd also go to like our politicians events and like raise my hand in the front row and be like, hey, would you support like a Green New Deal or not support pipelines like coming through Montana? Could you please like not support pipelines like under our rivers and such? And I just realized that like all the politicians at the federal level, at least, were just not willing to act like as fast as like science demands, like for stopping climate change. And so that just got me like mostly just got me into like activism, and that's what wanted to get me into politics.
I then asked him about the temporary safe outdoors space and what it is and how it functions, and what he wants to see in the future for it.
I think about 2 years ago, when the pandemic was first starting, the county and city were just trying to find some way to come up with more housing, just because there was a lot of people sleeping outside and things. But basically, they built this temporary safe outdoor space where it's just like little structures that can have like electricity and things. And they are making it permanent now, and they're going to add in like showers and running water and like full wraparound services to like actually like help people secure housing. So I think that was great. And then there's another one too that the city created just about a year ago, was the authorized campsite. So it's like basically just a gravel pit where people can like camp legally in town. But right now I've been like kind of fighting to get like some infrastructure there, like because like I've went and toured it and talked to people, and they need like running water or like at least electricity to plug their phone in, or heating, and like some more like shelter spaces. Right now it's just like bring your own tent, and there's like no water or resources. And I kind of saw it as like an excuse for the city to start punishing people for like camping because they had to provide a space. So it was just kind of a bummer, because I think we really need to get like long-term housing for people, and at least have like the basic amenities that like you need to like go to work, and to like a shower and being able to wash your hands at like by your house. So I'm trying to fight for running water and electricity and more resources at the authorized campsite right now. So we kind of have two in Missoula.
I next asked him about the challenges he faces trying to continue to expand those places.
Yeah, I think so. Like right now, the city of Missoula got about $14 million of ARPA funds that we can use to allocate like however we'd like. And I think that a lot of it is going to some of the wrong places, because we already spent about half of our ARPA funds that we got as a city, about 7 million, and some of it did go towards like good things to help with housing, but it was really supposed to all go towards things to help with pandemic relief. So we could easily use part of that money to get water and heating and help get people back on their feet. But some of it just goes towards like security, or paying like overtime for like employees, and like things that like like we get like spent like $200,000 on like an email security program from ARPA funds, and it's just like this is all money that could have gone towards infrastructure to help people that have been negatively affected by the pandemic. So I guess like the main roadblock right now is just like not having other members of the council like on the same page about like ARPA funds. But our budget season's coming up over the summer, so I plan to try and make amendments to the budget to use some of the ARPA funds to help get those resources. So I think there's a good chance, but sometimes I feel like the city is more willing to spend that money on police or security or like other things that like are like trying to like hide homelessness, but rather than just spending it on things that get people secure housing to end homelessness for those people.
For my alternative policy, I really don't have any policies to suggest, but just some ideas to keep in mind. My first suggestion is that the use of funds gets appropriately used, and I think there should be some level of accountability on where those funds go. Second, I think that the funds should help maintain these campsites, and the funds should also help renovate and continue to build upon the previous policies. I think the structures that will be built for these campsites is a good start,